But does it look good?
Yeah, because people are now debating whether this stuff is CG or or actual gameplay because it looks so good. I think what's great about these, no matter what they are, is they capture your imagination about where gameplay should go next.
Couldn't Microsoft, hire an ILM or a Pixar and capture the imagination of what they'd like it to do too?
But Sony did show some real-time stuff. So that Fight Night demo, that was real-time running on the hardware. So
I think
as was the game from Insomniac.
And the game from Insomniac and the Unreal. Those. So there is that potential for them.
So people know it could get that good. And I
And
talked to Ubisoft yesterday, and that Killing Day game, they said that CG,
which broke my heart.
But it's an attempt to sort of recognize what it's probably going to look like on PS3.
Early, that console isn't coming out for another year. They gotta get some time to work on these games and make them happen.
And I think we all know that what we saw today is some gameplay stuff, some CG stuff. I think all of it was pretty impressive for a debut.
Well, and more importantly, once again, Sony's committing itself to what has been its strength this round, which is having so many unique and varied titles available on the console. It's really always been their strength. And a lot of these, I'm not a huge fan of the driving genre, but the off-road racing game.
It looks very visceral.
The windshield wiper and the mod.
Yeah.
And the thing is that even the developers, I think, they look at these demos and that inspires them to think about how they're going to take games to the next level. Because a lot of other tech demos using for other consoles, they don't say, this is where games are going.
What we haven't seen, at least I haven't seen a 360 demo yet where it's just one character like a Doc Ock, highly polygonal, super modeled out. I haven't seen Microsoft showing off any demos like that, and I wonder, is that because they're not capable of getting that high def, or is it just because...
Well, on Xbox One, they did, the butterfly demo, all these other things. I haven't seen the tech demos. We'll talk about that later, but I think Sony was great because all the demos they showed, I think developers went home that night and started thinking, what can I do for PS4?
Exactly. I think it helps you realize, instead of trying to wrap your head around an entire game concept you see in 10, 20 seconds, you get what's going on, and you understand how it can be fun.
Is that once the games come out, on the first round, will they be so far below what we saw today that people can feel like they're bamboozled?
And that's why I have a little bit of confidence in Sony that they're not going to do that. They're not going to make the quality of their games so much lower than their original.
But they did with the PlayStation 2, though. Don't forget that. They did with the PlayStation 2. Everything was really jaggy. The Dreamcast had better-looking games when the PlayStation launched.
But remember, there were real-time demos there. It was just CG, but remember, there were real-time things there.
And they looked pretty damn good.
They did. All right, now, if you left now, you'd miss the final Sony press conference report. And honestly, would you ever be able to look yourself in the mirror again? How would you shave? Tragic. Think about that while we help sell you things.
No pass to the Sony press conference is harder to get than a near-mint Star Wars yak face action figure. But trust me, the press pass is much more attractive than an overpriced plastic man with a giant llama head. The good news is we have the next best thing to a Sony press pass. A first look at the most impressive game we saw in Sony's PS3 lineup, Killzone. As you watch this, try to figure out if this is pre-rendered or real-time gameplay.
Okay, listen up. Aim straight. Keep your fire low. You're too close. Move away. You're going to be in a line of fire. Parker, 8 o'clock left. Seconds to touchdown. Okay, listen up. Fernandez, Boyle. Hold on tight. Touchdown. Get off the thing! Move towards the fence! Get him off the beach! Get off the beach now! What the hell, guys? This guy's a dash, you son of a bitch! Jesus, oh my God! Now! Wait for my command! Now! Come on! Let's go! Let's go! The alarm is coming up on your right side!
Killzone 3 just earned the nickname Halo Killer. Tal, is that real-time gameplay?
I would love to believe it is.
It's not.
I don't know, dude.
I would still have to get my hands on it, you know? I mean, seeing that, I sure as hope that's what we're going to be playing on the PS3.
Wait, do we know? Do we know? Because last night on the forums, everybody,
yes.
I mean, there were page after page after page. Any forum you went to,
real time. Sony's official line, they say real time, in game. That's actually what you're going to be saying.
But on the forums, people are saying, is this a Scottish CGI house who did, the
Why does it have to be regional to where it was being developed? It's Scottish. It's that way.
The textures were clearly Scottish.
No matter what it is, it's like I think Killzone was a franchise that on PS2 people were not particularly impressed with the game. It was okay, but it's like now you see this and people are saying Halo Killer. I mean, imagine this was a launch title, and I don't. Maybe it won't come for launch, but I just think it looks so fantastic. It's a great imagination of where first-person shooters are going to eventually go. Wouldn't you give it that, Kevin?
I would absolutely. In fact, I would give it that if it is real time and it's using in-game assets and that is legit, then that is the death blow to the 360 before it's even out. However, I still maintain there is no way that is not pre-rendered. That has got to be pre-rendered.
Let's also remember, too, games aren't just about graphics. I mean, we're actually going to have to get our hands on it and see how this thing plays before we definitively say it's a Halo killer.
Well, which is a very, very good point, because when we also saw the controller, it has that odd boomerang shape.
Right.
One of the biggest problems that we've had with first-person shooters on the PS2 is the fact that, unlike the Xbox controller, they're on the same axis, which makes it very hard. It's like, patting your head and rubbing your tummy at the same time. And so I was watching it, I'm like, hold on, will I have still that kind of control?
That control looked had the
We're not going to know that until we get our hands on it. I thought the boomerang control looks kind of nice, and you can kind of have it on the side.
I figured it was just good to turn on your PS2 or PS3 and get it back again.
But notice how you capture the buzz. It's like by showing something like that. I mean, Microsoft could have done it, Nintendo could have done it. They could have shown some really great CG stuff. I think
but they didn't have that great CG stuff.
And the great thing is the CG stuff now, it's like we're even debating it now because the real-time demos look so good. So now, experts like us don't even necessarily really know if that's real.
I can buy it.
Actually, I know that was pre-rendered.
Okay.
I know it. In my heart of hearts, deep down, Adam, I will punch you in the mouth. It is pre-rendered.
I'm holding on a 5% chance, or that there were at least assets in that.
Perhaps.
In-game assets, that this really is a legitimate hope.
I'm holding out a chance that a lot of it is going to be, was rendered in real time, and maybe there were some CG assets, maybe there was a little enhancement in the flames or the faces,
a little cheating here and there.
Facial expressions, a little cheating. But maybe they're just cheating to make it look like they hope it's going to be.
Eventually.
I think we can all,
one day, like 10 years.
I think we can all agree on and that we didn't think that maybe the next generation was a little too early for us, but if games really are going to look like this,
that's the quantum leap.
Then maybe that's the leap.
No one is going to say PlayStation 2.5 if Killzone is real time.
And that's what Sony wanted to accomplish.
And they did it.
It's gorgeous, even pre-rendered, though. To think that it's.
I'd love to see that CGI film.
Exciting.
It's like an entire movie.
I'm all for that. Yeah.
Do you think? I mean, I guess the other question is what's interesting. Going back to the fact that it was Killzone, something I think all four of us can sit here and say was kind of gaming last year.
They were busy working on this.
I mean, Sony's now going to see what our reaction is. Just go back through their other catalog of games that also were like The Getaway. I mean, who adjusted the quality of these graphics? Suddenly, all these kind of flagging franchises and bring them to a higher level.
And don't forget,
if you think we're finished.
All right.
We're not. You don't know Microsoft very well. Their subtle efforts to dominate this year's E3 have not gone unnoticed. And we'll have more after this.
This debate isn't over yet.
Not over. It's over ever.
All right, E3 05 Live is back. But remember, don't dive into any of this press conference coverage without first consulting a physician. Now that we've been suitably impressed by the PS Tray, as we're going to start calling it, and we know you too, you're going to do it as well. Will Microsoft regret blowing their wad on MTV, or do they still have some surprises inside the 360? Enough with the questions. Let's see.
And it's on.
Tonight we stand at a watershed moment in the history of entertainment. We are here to celebrate the launch of the world's most powerful game platform, Xbox 360. Now we've traveled a long way since we stood on stage 4 years ago at E3 to tell you about our plans for a new console called Xbox. Since then, we've gone from 0 customers to more than 20 million. Right now, 6 of the top 10 selling games are Xbox titles. And gamers can expect more than 200 new Xbox titles this year, with hundreds more in 2006 and beyond. So let's take a look at some of the new titles coming to Xbox in 2005.
drop this back in Black Mesa. Good luck out there, buddy. Gonna need it.
Now, many gamers have been asking us if they'll be able to play their favorite Xbox games on Xbox 360. Tonight, we are very pleased to announce that Xbox 360 will be backwards compatible with the top-selling Xbox games.
All right, so Microsoft learned from Sony that backwards compatibility is a very good idea, especially when you're still releasing a ton of Xbox One titles. But Jeff, is it all about the new games, or is it even important?
Well, wait a sec. We got to talk about that backwards compatibility because I think people misinterpret that.
There was an asterisk, a giant asterisk.
Exactly. It's like with top-selling games. Now, top-selling games, that could mean Halo and Halo 2, and that's it. So that's not backwards compatibility to me. And,
well,
Microsoft's not clarifying.
That means I'm not going to be able to play my Death Row. That means I'm not going to be able to
What
play
about
Freedom
Blinks 2,
Fighters?
Tal? When you want to put Blinks 2 in the drive.
Everybody
Looking at some of the games
Fusion Frenzy.
Looking at some of the games that Microsoft had out, like, I'm not super excited about any of those titles except for Gears of War, so maybe I'm going to want to go back and play Halo 2.
And Microsoft's not clarifying.
Honestly.
No, and it's like they can't do backwards compatibility hardware-wise, so they have to do it software-wise. So I think they're going to pick, maybe it'll be the top 5, maybe the top 10 games.
Right.
Do
you think it has maybe a relationship to XNA or the relationship to the hard drive? These features that are being imported.
They have to do the graphics card,
right?
It's the graphics card. It's that
right,
the last
the
one
NVIDIA
had
graphics card,
NVIDIA.
they basically can't do that unless they pay a royalty
And I
to
think
NVIDIA.
we'll see
So they're not gonna
downloadable patches for popular
I'm sure we'll see
Xbox games.
downloadable patches.
The thing is that, I think the current gen Xbox games like Half-Life 2, it's interesting, Microsoft showed all this current Xbox stuff. Sony didn't show any PS2 stuff really besides Final Fantasy 12 at their press conference. Microsoft had to show all this Xbox stuff because everyone was saying they're abandoning their platform. I think the stuff looks good, but if anything, they're enticing Xbox owners to just keep playing Xbox One this holiday season and not upgrade.
I agree completely. I think the other thing is that as we're going to sort of be discussing in a moment.
And you kind of hit the E-brake and you can slide out a little bit. I think that's a great feature. My favorite part is the machine guns and the missiles, of course. But whatever. You can also control your cursor a little bit with the other analog stick, which is cool. But that's an advanced feature.
Very nice.
I'm still working on.
So tell me, are you focusing more on the racing, or are you just wanton destruction of the enemies?
I don't really know who I'm racing right now. I'm mostly destroying, and it's a great time.
Yeah,
my car's not built like this, but that's cool.
It's a destructive Sunday drive. It looks that way.
I just died.
So now, Cord, with all the destructible environments and the stunts and branching paths and this, that, the other, is it straight A to B racing, or are there different paths you can take? Are there shortcuts? Are you rewarded?
Right here. Actually, Morgan's close to a parkade that you can actually jump through, and sometimes you make it through the.
It might cost $500.
That's what I think.
Now, and some people are like, that is way too much, blah, blah, blah. You know what? It's a Blu-ray DVD player, and it's next-gen, and that's the price of a next-gen graphics card on the PC anyways. I would pay $500 for PlayStation 3.
And it has two of those next-gen graphics cards.
Exactly.
But they were so happy to tell you that each of those graphics cards cost $500 individually, so of course everyone in their head is adding all this the technology up. We'll see. I feel like $500 is going to be a lot of money for that.
I'm okay for $500.
It is a lot, and the economy better hold. And here's the thing that I've noticed.
360.
After getting out onto the floor, I'm feeling better about the 360.
Absolutely.
I now think it was the press conference did such a bad job of representing it.
Yes.
And now I'm seeing some games, obviously Gears of War, which we're going to be seeing later. If that can be on, if that's on this system is a rival to the PS3.
Well, they had so many buzzwords at their press conference that you just felt like they were trying to pull wool over your eyes or just pull something over on you. Whereas when you got on the floor, they're there are actually games playable on the floor, which is great.
Right. Now, did anybody see any PS3 playable stuff, like the Fight Night? Was Kudo down there? Were you able to
I haven't made it into their booth. Were you able to make it over there?
Yeah, the Kudo is nary in sight, and you can see him from space with those sunglasses he was wearing. But the Fight Night demo at the press conference was amazing. It got a lot of attention because you could really see the facial expressions on the boxers, and we've been missing that. Like, you know, we haven't seen that emotion on those people's faces yet. You see those plastic faces, and it's really disappointing still. But when we saw those, it was kind of like an aha moment for the next generation of consoles.
Absolutely.
Now, I think the other thing is I made it over to Nintendo's booth. There really isn't much.
Really?
I mean, there are games there. Zelda's there. Zelda, I mean, it's great, but you still expect it to be great. That it doesn't have that same sense of surprise.
Right.
Nintendo's, on the other hand.
Oh, here we go.
Wow,
here we
that's
go.
a cool
Adam
game.
apparently likes the puppies.
Well, the problem is that whatever little masculinity I have left is now gone because of that game. That's all I can say, everybody.
They have it. Well, the DS matches your skirt, which is nice. Now, whether you're excited about the Xbox 360 or just
Couple of celebrities on the set with us, Sean and Marlon Wayans.
Oh.
Not Adam and Kevin. How are you guys liking E3?
It's insane.
Yeah.
It really is. It's overload.
You guys play games yourselves?
Oh, yeah. That's all. Well, I play a lot more. Sean got a bunch of 80s games. I play 80s games. Yeah. I'm like straight out of the 80s. I got Miss Pac-Man. I got Donkey Kong. I got Elevator X.
You like all those games that never end.
I'm like a video game crackhead. Whatever you got, I'm going to play it. I don't care. No. Actually, the games that never end is that John Madden football. No, John Madden football ends. SOCOM don't end.
Because you can play online
you literally got to go get you some U.S. Marines. You got to move out the place you playing in order to end it.
All right, what did you guys bring for us today? You have a game of your own.
Yeah.
But it's a trading card game. It already looks better than the Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh card games that are out there. I don't know if you guys play those.
Thank you.
I'm about to get killed by fanboys, so please protect me when they come up here in an angry mob.
It's Pokemon, but kind of it's Jokemon. It's basically it's jokes.
It's called the Dozens, and it's your mama jokes on cards. And so we got funny animation to go along with it, and you play kind of like the game War.
Okay.
You go back and forth. And who tells the funniest mama joke on the card wins, and it's rated.
Right, and it's also a cell phone game as well.
But you don't have to make up the joke. The joke's on the card for you.
The joke
so I don't have to actually be funny at all.
Throw one out there. Throw one out there. Go for it.
Your mama's so... I already messed it up.
Come on, try to go for it. Come on.
Your mama's feet's so ugly when she takes off her shoes, it looks like she's throwing up gang signs.
Look at that. Now that's funny.
That was pathetic. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry.
No, that was funny. That was good. But your mama's breath so stink, they consider her mouth a weapon of mass destruction.
Well, you already win on that. You already win on that.
Now the cards are out. It comes out June 1st, exclusively at Blockbuster. June 1st, so you can get the cards.
And the bonus mobile game is available. Just go to www.dozensonline and pick it up. And it comes with good gum.
It comes with the gum for free?
Yeah, and the gum is soft. It doesn't cut up the roof of your mouth.
Yeah, it ain't like that razor blade they give you. This is actually good gum.
Well, I'm going to have this, and thanks for stopping by,
no
guys.
Problem,
really
no
appreciate
problem.
it.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.
For having us.
Now, shift your position on the futon slightly, but don't get up because later we have a demo of Unreal Tournament 2007. Yes, it came from the future to be on our show. And to kill John Connor, of course. Plus, the oft-remixed but never imitated Cliffy B is here with Gears of War and Unreal Engine 3. It makes the violence pretty.